Right now on ABC 24 News at 5, it is one of the busiest travel days of the year. We're live from Memphis International with what you need to know before you start your trip. Plus, a rise in RSV cases in Memphis, what one Mid-South doctor is saying, and how you can best protect yourself and your family this Thanksgiving. Also, saving you money this Black Friday, how to make sure you are getting the best deals out there. ABC 24 News at 5 starts right now. Good morning, everyone. Happy hump day. Even though it doesn't quite feel like a hump day because most people are this is like their Friday, right?
Yeah. Some people are already off.
Some people are already off. It is the holiday, basically weekend already. Thank you for joining us here on ABC 24 News at 5. Nice look into downtown Memphis there. Not as cold.
Not as cold. In fact, it's going to be warm this afternoon. And
Got
we've been harping for the last couple of days. If you have things to do them today because you don't want to get caught in the rain tomorrow. It is going to be a nasty, rainy day. A good day to stay inside and eat, if you ask me, honestly. Now, it is a little chilly out there this morning. Looking at 35 in Memphis right now, 30 in Somerville and Corinth, 36 in Wynne, Arkansas, and in Clarksdale. This afternoon, we expect more cloud cover to move in, so it is going to be a partly cloudy afternoon. Check out that high temperature, 65 degrees. That is going to feel really nice out there. And no chance of rain today. So if you do have errands to run, if you got to run to the grocery store and pick some things up, go ahead and do that today. Because look at our rain chances. Tomorrow, a 90% chance that you are going to see rain, and that is going to be through most of the day. Now, a little bit of a change here. Rain chances have gone down on Friday. I think most of Friday is going to be dry, but Saturday now looks really rainy with another system swinging through. We're going to get to the latest updates and time out the rain chances hour by hour coming up in just a bit. But of course, it is a busy travel day. A lot of folks are hitting the roadways, so let's get a check of your traffic, whether you're headed into work or headed out of town this morning. For now, everything in the Memphis area is flowing smoothly, 65 miles an hour all around town. So if you're going in or out of the city of Memphis, don't expect any problems on the roadways this morning. And the airport also looking good. Last check, no delay at Memphis International Airport. All flights inbound and outbound are getting out right on time. But of course, that could change through the day as more and more people head to that airport, Eryn.
Yeah, that's the good news people want to hear, especially because today is one of the busiest travel days of the year, and Memphis International Airport does expect thousands of people to go through their gates this weekend. Well, that is where our Lakita Johnson is joining us live from this morning. Lakita, I know the airport says right now is the busiest time of the day for them, and it looks like people are just rolling on by you.
Good morning, Eryn. Yep, you're absolutely right. People are steadily coming in. It actually just picked up. You can see the line is actually lengthening, but look at this TSA line, guys. You got to get here early. It is kind of backed all the way up. And you know what? Still, this airport isn't as busy at this time that I've seen it. So that's still a good thing. But again, you got to get here because you never know how long this TSA line is actually going to end up being, because these lines are inevitable. So make sure you get here at least 2 hours early. Also, if you can, check in online before you get here, because most airlines will allow you to check in 24 hours before your flight. And finally, the airport says if you're traveling with a group, go ahead and divide and conquer. So you may need to drop some people off so they can get their bags checked. And then while you go and park, so that way it'll be less people having to check things in. But you know what? Coming up in the next half hour, I'll have more advice on what you can do to make your process easier when coming through the airport. For now in Memphis, I'm Lakita Johnson. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Lakita. Even that pre-check line was long there. Well, if you are flying over the next few days, the TSA says they are at a record-breaking pace with finding guns in the airport. They found 67 last year, but so far this year, it's been 73, and they found 2 just this past Friday. About 85% were loaded, and 45% of them had rounds in their chamber. TSA officials say know the rules when you go to the airport and you're traveling with a gun.
If you wind up bringing that weapon in your carry-on bag, we're going to find it. And a couple things will happen. First of all, everything freezes on the checkpoint. We're going to call law enforcement. Here in the state of Tennessee, with our changes in permit carry laws, more than likely, if there's nothing else going on, they're going to escort you out of the building and allow you to give that weapon to a non-traveler or put it back in your vehicle.
don't want to have those delays when I'm sure you're already trying to get where you're going. Well, they do say make sure your gun is properly secured, and they recommend keeping it in a safe, locked case. Time now, 5:05, keeping you healthy this morning. Thousands of people across the country being hospitalized for the flu in just the last week. In Memphis, it is no different here. So if you do want to protect yourself this holiday, doctors say, of course, age old, wash your hands, keep your distance from large crowds. That's best. But without also getting vaccinated, you are still at a high risk for getting sick.
At least have some fair ventilation. Open the windows or doors very briefly, and keep the air moving a little bit more than you might ordinarily, because that will protect, particularly against COVID. With the flu and RSV, it's a heavier emphasis on hand sanitizing and sort of not shaking hands. Sneeze into your sleeve, for example, not out into the room at your other guests.
Well, there is still time to get vaccinated against COVID and the flu, and you can get both vaccines at the same time if you would like. Turning now to some national news. The second mass shooting in less than a week. The latest just last night at a Walmart in Chesapeake, Virginia. Officers say several people died and a lot of people got hurt, but they say they couldn't say how many just yet. Police do believe there was one shooter and say that gunman is dead. Officers are still searching throughout the store for any more people inside. But this happened just days after a shooter walked into a club in Colorado, killing 5 people there and hurting 19 others. Well, back here in Memphis, an update on the 15-year-old boy who got shot by an MPD officer. The teen's still in the hospital and now facing multiple charges. Police haven't released his name yet, but he is looking at attempted second-degree murder, assaulting an officer, and evading arrest. Investigators say an officer was responding to a call in North Memphis about a stolen Dodge Challenger, but found the car empty. Well, while the officer was investigating, police say the teen walked up and got in the driver's seat. The officer started shooting, and then the teen drove off, crashing at Chelsea and Boxwood. Turning now to some political news this morning. Tennessee State Senator Brian Kelsey from Germantown pleading guilty to violating campaign finance laws. According to court documents, Kelsey admitted he secretly and illegally funneled money from several sources to fund his 2016 run for Congress. Kelsey and others arranged to hide the transfer of $91,000. He is scheduled to be sentenced on June 9th. Well, 4 people and a firefighter are recovering this morning after a gas leak at a Midtown Memphis apartment building. This happened yesterday at the venue on Central Avenue near Lamar. We have learned that 3 dogs and a cat were killed in this. As of late last night, though, a lot of people who live there still unsure when they would be allowed back inside. Officials say they need to make sure the building is clear and completely safe.
We're not sure. Like I said, it's a lot of floors that our firefighters have to cover with the manpower that we have on scene, so it might take a bit to get all the floors cleared and to get some decent readings to where we feel comfortable to let residents back in.
The fire department says crews were working on the boiler when the carbon monoxide leak happened. Looking ahead, the Memphis Grizzlies are tipping off their season of giving with the More Than a Meal packing event. So this afternoon, players, coaches, and staff will put together Thanksgiving baskets for 100 families. Each family will get food, even kitchenware, to help them prepare a Thanksgiving meal. The baskets do include a turkey, ingredients for 2 sides, and a dessert. The goal is to alleviate burdens from families from the Mid-South who might not be able to afford a Thanksgiving meal. Well, turning now to saving you money this holiday season. Black Friday just 2 days away, but it is better to go to the big box stores or, just do your online shopping. Experts say when it comes to Black Friday shopping, deals began a month in advance this year, and mostly they will be the same in store as online, but
the exception is when big box retailers have their doorbusters, so maybe a certain TV that's high on everyone's list, a certain limited amount of deals on iPhones or things like that, that you have to show up in store to get.
Average discount is around 37% off.